Slayer is a band that after all these years still finds a way at times to be a little bit controversial, and a lot of times it's kind of indirect. Whether it's been some of the things that Kerry King has said just to express himself in a generation now where everything's a headline, either that or what we saw recently with the band having a photograph with Donald Trump, obviously photoshopped, on one of their social media accounts. It was posted supposedly by Tom Araya, and he said that he just found it funny. And the band has, of course, come off with statements that have stated that, you know, Slayer has never endorsed any political candidate, and blah, 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 and Tom Araya was really surprised about the special snowflake syndrome here in America. He didn't realize so many people were going to get mad. He didn't realize so many people were going to get angry. He didn't realize there's going to be 10,000 likes in just a short period of time. But sometimes he just has to do things to piss people off. Well, I'm Cover Killer Nation, and I'm here to tell you why the best thing Slayer could have done in this situation with this photograph is said absolutely nothing. Here's the reason why. It's very simple. If you want to talk about controversy, one of the best things that you can do in order to really fuel or spark something is deliver no explanation whatsoever. Just have it right there. Perhaps have a short little explanation underneath. Perhaps something that's as simple as Slayer and Trump, who would have thought? Either that or holy shit, POTUS, and there you have it. That's all the more that you would hear about it. Move about your day. Go forward. Don't address the situation. Don't talk about it. If somebody in an interview, you know, with a microphone, shoves it in your face and asks you about it, just chuckle and carry on. Don't do a damn thing. Just let it happen. Let the mystique of this grow and grow and grow to the point where it's almost hilarious in nature. Think about videos that are controversial here on this very channel. Think about 5 Reasons People Hate Slayer, a video that to this day still garners hate comments left and right. Really something that was offered no absolute explanation, instead was given a video that was dedicated 100% to laughing about the really, really negative and dumb Slayer comments. What about 5 Reasons People Hate goes through the whole entire series. It's something where, yes, it has now been given a disclaimer right at the beginning of those videos, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's going to be stopped. It doesn't mean that it's going to cease. That's what Slayer should have done here. Slayer should have instead just moved on with their days. Offer no explanation. Don't talk about how there is no sort of political affiliation left or right. Let the people assume something. Let the people do a lot of the thinking on this one and have them garner their opinions. Let them sort of sling mud or throw shit left and right. You got them by the balls is essentially what I'm saying. You got them by the balls. This is what exposes exactly what Tom Araya is talking about a little bit. This is what exposes some of that special snowflake syndrome, which, by the way, can easily be applied to either side of the coin. We're all special snowflakes. Lewis Black said that 15 damn years ago. The fact that now it's being relegated as a term of insult to really mostly one side of the political spectrum as opposed to the political whole, or the social whole, I guess is the more accurate terminology, is really just a negative consequence to how the world is now working in 2017. But if Slayer really wanted to breed controversy in this case, if he really wanted to expose a lot of that and showcase what 2017 really is on the social spectrum, especially whenever it comes to social media, you just simply let things go. Just act like it didn't even happen. If somebody asks you about it, just say, there was a picture of us with the president? Cool. Don't acknowledge it. Give it that mystique factor. It's almost like what we just talked about recently with Ghost. It's about what we recently just talked about with Tobias Forge and the Nameless Ghouls, and how they have lost some of their charm, some of their mystique, their mystery, based off the fact that the lid's sort of been blown off of who the Nameless Ghouls are. Papa Emeritus' name has now been delivered and given to us, and so is Ghost now going to hold the same element to us? Are they going to have that same amount of real drive as they used to prior to this unveiling? Why did you need to unveil this? This needed to be deconstructed. You didn't even have to let people know that you thought it was funny. Let them think that it's true. Let them think that Slayer is associated with Donald Trump. It would be the ultimate in all of the trolls, even if you don't really feel like trolling is necessary since you're all about 50 freaking years old. It's still something that would be controversial, to say the least, and it's something that definitely suits Slayer's philosophy. Everything about this suits Slayer to the T, 155.76%, and counting. Everything about this would be just the right level of piss-off that would have the nice chuckle fucks going in the background based around the idea that it would be absolutely hilarious. It's something that garnered news. It's something that instantaneously everybody had a reaction to. People wanted to talk about this left and right. It was absurd. All over a picture. All over a picture. Now, we all know that Tom Brady represents the evil of the NFL, sign of Patriot fans. And, of course, him posing with Donald Trump is no surprise. It seems like it's evil versus evil. Slayer's supposed to identify as evil in the metal departments. Evil band! Why not have him pose with Donald Trump? What's the deal? What's the problem? There is none. In fact, the only problem here is that there's been too much said about it. Why this should have been a very closed case, why this should have been one where there was silence after it was posted, and the picture left up, by the way, is simply for the reaction, to get people talking, and then display absolutely no remorse by saying no words. Let the people think what they want. It is based around that. If they have the wrong opinion, then they're wrong. If they realize that it's just a ha-ha-ha, then they're right. Nothing needed to be stated here, and in fact, if anything, Tom Araya has not necessarily added to the controversy by speaking about the special snowflakes of America, because it's not necessarily a new idea. It's not necessarily something that hasn't been spoken about before by individuals, especially those within the heavy metal distinction. Heavy metal, of course, being a little bit controversial by its own right, is always going to really have this side to it. It's always going to be one where folks are going to be offended by things, such as Antifa, either that or Christians that were offended and happy and glorious and, super duper excited over the deaths of people. Yeah, I'll go 2 years ago, and I really don't care. This is a country that, of course, is infested with this type of idea, and it's on both sides, as I previously stated. But Tom Araya calling special attention to it, it almost feels a little bit cheap. It cheapens the whole idea of the photo, it cheapens the whole idea of the post, and it could have been handled better had simply nothing been said from the very get-go, and people just, be forced to have to, move on with their lives. But what do you think? Do you think this is something that should have been handled with silence, or do you think that this media cavalcade was expertly devised to keep Slayer's name in the media while they work on their next album, the follow-up to Repentless? Let me know in the comments below. I'm coverkillernation, and I'll talk to you guys next time whenever we tackle the hard questions by simply asking the one-word question of why.